West Ruimveldt, how y'all doing tonight? Man, this is a different kind of meeting. I thought I'd come in out and an hour and a half we done and we gone home. Not in Gilhuys Square at all. I have enjoyed being here, including my fancy chair. I tell you, y'all know how to look after a woman. Yes. And that is where I want to start. Because this honorable man right here know how to look after a lady. And I'm talking to the sisters right now. We like the men to know how to look after us. We want no man that left us outside, sitting on the veranda when you name first lady. No. We don't operate so at all. We have a leader that I am so proud to have had the opportunity to work with. This man had the vision to create a ministry we never had in Guyana before. And when the opposition want to tell you that we ain't do nothing, because you know that's what they tell you all the time. Nothing good happen, we ain't do nothing. We ain't get nothing. What Upnew AFC really do? I want you to remind them of several things. The first thing you remind them is that this man got a lot of women in his cabinet, in his government, in all the ministries, and he's looking after and making sure enough women qualifying for grants, for scholarships, all kind of things, right? So we ladies know that things better when it comes in that area. But I want to also talk about the men, especially the young men. Because again, you telling the story, and we have heard it tonight. This is really serious times. And we forget that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, many of us used to be hustling home. We won't be outside when it gets dark. Y'all remember those days? Right. Now we know that we are more at ease and things are better. Now, you know, they like to suggest that is we saying all the good things about Guyana. And therefore they can say it's propaganda. But I want to remind you what my good friend Ruimveldt just said. The IMF, I don't want to use the word these white people, but you know what I mean. The big fancy organization, the International Monetary Fund, does give money to different parts of the world when they got trouble. Right? The IMF said that Guyana gonna grow 86% in 2020. That is the foreign people telling us how good things are in Guyana. Y'all remember the day when enough Guyanese used to have to sit on a bench in Barbados? Yeah. Well, how come all of a sudden after 2015 that could stop? Instead, everybody coming to Guyana. Right? They definitely throw away the Guyanese bench. Because guess what? Upnew AFC ain't gonna have no bench the Guyanese sitting on. No way. No way. Y'all know that. And then the other thing that I want to remind you of, they talk about a country that is going to be the fastest growing country. Not in the Caribbean, in the entire world. Here now, you really are a bright man, you know. This man know how the story goes. Right? this to remind you and to let you know that in these difficult times you got to understand that they got a thing called fake news. Y'all know that, right? But let me tell you, the problem is a lot of people don't know that the news fake. So I was happy this tonight because I don't have to tell you what happened and what was done by this administration, because you all, your own residents, your own councillor, your own residents talk, and the pastor talk about the great things that happen right here in your own area, the drains that clean, the ICT hubs. I am happy to say that for the first time ever in Guyana, all our schools have free internet access. And you may think that's not important, but I want to tell you why it is. Because when your children got to do their homework, and they got to do a little research, and they may not have internet at home, they got it at school, and they got it at over 170 places in the country, including the hinterland, where they could go and get a free Wi-Fi. And you could carry them, and you could sit with them, and you could make your free WhatsApp calls. That is money in your pocket, ladies and gentlemen. The other thing I want to tell you that is very important, because we talked about education. We believe in the educational opportunities that your children must be able to benefit from. And that's why I mentioned the fake news. Because when the PPP put up them signs all over the country that say they can change and we ain't gonna have to pay fees at UG, who bring in the fees in UG? Who bring in the VAT? I heard them all of a sudden they get memory and they're saying they're gonna stop the VAT, they're gonna stop UG fees. We never had that before. It's them put that there. And you know Mr. Granger is very strong on education. He makes sure that everybody got an opportunity.
Exactly.
So anybody that can carry the children to school, you got a bus. In the hinterland area, I have met children that walk 4 hours to go to school. The place is called Tokshibai, all the way in the hinterland. Imagine, we got places where that is the reality. And we've had an administration and a government that make sure that we got boats and we got bicycles. And most importantly, we got food. Because we know the reality is, in many places, a child gonna go to school hungry. And if you're hungry, you can't learn. I want you to know that in these ICT hubs, all the textbooks for Ministry of Education are on those computers. All this technology and what I'm talking about could have been done 10 years ago. Could have been done 15 years ago. Because the technology was there. Did it happen? No. So we have to be very wise. We have to be very wise, and we got to understand some of the things that we didn't talk about before, earlier tonight. Let me talk about the radio stations. You all remember the time when you could only listen to 1 or 2 government-owned radio stations? Do you know that people, we had many people that got licensed now and got radio station now that had applications in there for 20 years. And you know, it's only friends and family were able to get radio stations. Now we got many of we own people that got radio stations that we could tune into. And better yet, we got 5 hinterland towns now, and all of them got a radio station. And that is because APNU AFC want to ensure that every citizen could listen to whatever they want to listen to. This is not a dictatorship where we got to manage what you must hear and learn.
You learn anything you want.
And that's also why access to the internet allows you to do any kind of research, any kind of learning. And let me tell you the other reason why we pushing that, some of you may not know. But CSEC is very soon going to say, because they've started it in other countries, your CSEC exam you're going to have to do online. So that is why we're doing all this training all over the country. So that our young Guyanese are going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. By 20, yes, especially your grandson. Because guess what? By 2025, 70% of the jobs in the whole world will mean you need to know some little computer skills. And that is why I am proud to say we have been training young people, boys and girls, in Linden, in Latam, in West, in all over this country. You go to our website, we can find a free course that you could go on. And it don't matter how old you are. The other thing I want to say to you is that when they want to tell you that this is the worst time for crime, you and I know the story don't go so. But I want to also let you know that when it comes to crime, we have just created a fabulous center, an information and a crime center. Y'all see all these cameras around the place, right? Those cameras carrying the signal straight to a command center. And you may not know of the connection, but a lot of the crime that's being solved now is because in that center we could see where anybody moving on any road, anybody escaping from a crime, police officers are going to have, and many of them have it already, we're testing it. They're going to have a little body cam, and they're going to have radios with video. So that story I was hearing about earlier, about some of your residents that end up at the police station and things like that, all of that going to change with technology. You hearing what I'm saying? Because if they go to work and they don't turn on the little camera, we know that they got a problem immediately. And everything that they do is going to be recorded. Now, I don't want to suggest that all our police officers are bad. We got some good police men and women that help in this country. But there's a few rotten rogues that we got to make sure we protect our citizens against. Right? Now, everybody talking about this oil. All of us know that we get a blessing from above. And we give thanks for that blessing. It's only one man that cussing it. Only one man that can say, thank you, Lord, for finally saying to Guyana, Guyana, this is your time now. People of West, this is our time now. We get a little brace. We get a little blind. And it's for us to make the best of that opportunity. And I'm saying to you, a lot of things have been done. And I want you to make sure you take advantage of it. But I want to give you a vision of what we're really doing with this oil money. Right? Imagine with this extra money that for the first time, we're going to be able to build more hospitals, health centers that are better equipped, schools, more schools. Every child can get a tablet. They ain't got to go to school anymore with books. Because, you know, in other parts of the world, a tablet got all the different information. And guess what? They have websites because, as happens in other parts of the world, Your mother, your father, your guardian going to be able to know if your child got homework. Because all you got to do is go to the website and you see what homework your child got. That is where this country is going. We already have done, Minister Patterson has done thousands of roads. Let me talk about the lights. Imagine I going home, I live in Providence. I going home one evening towards the end of 2015. My family been living in Providence since like 30 years. Actually 40 years. My parents were there 40 years ago. And one day I going home in the night and I thinking this something looking different. Something looking different. My smart man here got it. The lights, the road lights. Mocha Road that never had lights for more than 40 years. 2 women get raped on Mocha Road that I know of. People get robbed on Mocha Road. And now Mocha Road looking like a highway with all kind of lights. I want to ask why in 23 years so many places never could get lights. And then as you know, I know one of the speakers before talked about that. We know the amount of places on the East Coast where one village got light and the other village ain't got no light. And you wonder why it was. And you and I know what it was that distinguished one village from the next. But I'm not going to say anything because I won't get locked up by the Ethnic Relations Commission or anybody. So we behaving good tonight. But y'all know what we're talking about, right? So we have many, many more communities that have roads. Look at Latham. Latham always had some red roads. The other day we see beautiful pictures and we open a major road that is tarred. Look at the roads that are being built now. They're not roads that collapse in after 2-3 mornings like used to happen. These are roads that got a pavement. And the one problem we got now is everybody driving too fast on the road. I go up the East Coast the other day. I said, oh my goodness, look at this road. The road looked like one of those roads in some other country other than what we used to get in Guyana. So this new AFC government is a government of standards. We ain't doing anything slapdash. We ain't wasting no money. And you see how they like to talk about corruption all the time and want to suggest that we corrupt? Let me tell you, they know what they used to do. They know the corruption better. They define the word corruption in Guyana. Because for all them years, that is what we had under them. How many more? I don't need to say anything else. We know who used to end up dead all the time. Right? We know who would be playing dominoes in Agricola and somebody come in and people end up dead. We know. We know Johansen in Bel Air Park. Bel Air Park, 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, coming from playing basketball. We carrying our sons and our nephews and our brothers back to that people? Huh? But the most important thing I want to say is that we have a vision for truly transforming this country. And all you heard tonight is not just what we're going to do, but 90% of what you hear is what we do. Right? What we do already. So when they come to you and they say, vote us back in because we can do this and we can do that, you need to ask them why you didn't do it in the 23 years. That is what you got to say to them. Now I want to remind you of a couple of other important facts. that the opposition clearly don't remember.
Can't remember.
So, let me do a little test here. I got some questions too. Who remember what the minimum wage was in 2014? 25,000. I tell you, we got some bright people in here. Colin, we got bright people in here. 25,000, right? Right. And then 25,000 a month, yes. That's only a couple of years ago, right? How many years ago?
6. 2014?
4 plus, 5 plus, 5 years. 4 years, 9 months, thank you. And then as soon as 2015 came, what did your new AFC government do? What did minimum wage go to? 39,500? One time it get to that? In 2015? Wow! Now here now, I've been living on Mars for the last year. So I don't know if it's true, but I hear that the minimum wage gone to 70,000? No. I don't believe that. It's true? From 29,000 to 70,000? And that's not a good life? That's not more money in your pocket? No, but I hearing this man shouting every day that things are worse for you and me. He lie? You hear lie? That is lie. So what you need to realize, and I want to remind you, in them 4 years, if you take the last 4 years of the PPP government, they only increased the minimum wage a total of 31%. Do you remember they used to do a 5%, 5%? That's all we ever used to get, 5%. Right. Now this government in the 4 years, 9 months, increased the minimum wage 71%. 71%. As we do better, we carrying everybody along with us. And that is what you have to remember. Now let me talk a little bit about the pension. Right? What was the pension? Somebody tell me the pension in 2014. 7,000? Our pensioners had to live on 7,000? And what's the pension now? What is? 20 something thousand, and you know you're gonna keep moving. All right, y'all know what our team is? I ain't hear it yet for the night. Don't stop the progress. I hear y'all. Have I showed you? Has everybody tonight showed you the progress we made? Yes. So, don't stop the progress. So, I know that not everybody get public assistance. But let me tell you, a lot of people depend on public assistance. And we forget that public assistance, yes, my friend right here. Yes, public assistance has doubled. And we can work on doing more. We're working to do more. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, we are in the most critical time of our life. We have to ensure that every single person gets up and gets out and votes. It is not somebody else's responsibility. It is the responsibility of each and every one of us. If you know Granny next door ain't got nobody to carry her to the polling station, if somebody got to lift her down the steps because her family in New York, the neighbor got to do that. We have to do this and do it well and do it right. Now I know that there are many people that forget and don't remember and don't know what has been done. And the other responsibility we have is that we got to remind them about what has been done. Because some people say, oh gosh, y'all had 4 whole years and you ain't reached by me yet with my road. I had somebody the other day say to me, "Ma'am, Minister, you ain't come by me yet." I said, what do you mean? They say, yeah, I ain't get my ICT hub. I said, sir, guess what? I create 175 and that's proof that the next one I come into gonna be right by you. You understand how we got to explain this thing?
Don't stop
Yeah.
the progress.
Don't stop the progress. Now we are still in the time frame that each and every one of you got to check your name on that list. And if you don't find it and you got your pink slip, go to a GCOM office with your pink slip and tell them you don't see your name on the list. It has to be on the list. This is the serious part of what we're doing. And again, you got to tell the young people, mothers, fathers, guardian, uncle, godmother, godfather, tell all them young people, make sure we all got to work at this. And you have heard the Honorable President say that we ain't going for no 1-seat majority. Because, you know, I like to say, we had a Judas. We didn't know he was a Judas. But guess what? Even Christ had a Judas. But we got to make sure that the Judases don't have an opportunity again. Because one man can't change the vote of over 300,000 people that voted in 2015 and say, yes, we want this government. Not true? Right. So we got to be very, very vigilant. We got to get more seats in that parliament. Much more. And then we got to do more on the regional level, because guess what? I know of regions where the opposition is in control and they're fighting us down. The monies for the poor sweeper cleaners is a classic example. We increase it. We say they must get more. And then we had to find places where they were deliberately not giving over the money. The region was not paying it over because guess what? It's a region run by you know who. Right? So all them regions, we got to make sure we cover too. Because once we control the regions, your representatives, like this wonderful counselor you got here, very capable lady, you're going to be able to put your people in those regions. And when they manage in the regions, then they can decide how the money that budget every year is spending. Whether you need it for your nursery, whether you need it for a football field, whether you're building a bridge or whatever. We have to be part of that decision-making progress. Now, folks, I hope we have explained tonight how crucial this is. Your children must be the next petroleum engineers, the welders, the IT people, the plumbers, everything that this industry and all our other industries gonna need. We must be able to prepare for now. And as I said to you, it's the oil industry that gonna build agriculture, that gonna build business, more loans for young people, more loans for women entrepreneurs. Look at the array of beautiful local products we see in all over the place in recent times. Look at the young generation that all of a sudden now know them beautiful songs, old national songs that we never hear for a long time. Remember the money that is in your pocket. If you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, if you are anybody working in the public sector, things are a lot better now than it was 4 years, 9 months. And the one thing I want you to remember is that all those things we didn't promise we were going to do. We promise and we deliver. Just imagine what we can do in the next 5 years. One good turn deserves another. Don't stop the program. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Minister. Big it up for your minister.